A very warm welcome to Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program with me, Sharad Dorji. Our top stories this week: high prevalence of depression among the country's elderly population. Food security and productivity project to benefit over 10,000 households. And 140 individuals certified as National Certified Counselor. There is high prevalence of depression among the elderly according to a recent study conducted by the National Statistics Bureau. But according to the psychiatrist, most elderly Bhutanese with depression are often left underdiagnosed and undertreated.
According to a study, depression is one of the most common mental health conditions among our elderly. The report on understanding the situation of elderly citizens states that there is an unusually high prevalence of depression among the elders. The study also says that more female elders have been diagnosed with depression than males. However, on most occasions, this is often undiagnosed and undertreated. Dr. Ugendema of the Jigme Doji Wanchu National Referral Hospital says people often assume the symptoms of depression to be part of the normal process of aging, thus leaving it unreported. She added the symptoms of depression with the old are also often unusual, making it hard to recognize the disease.
They have this atypical presentation that they do not come with typical depressive symptoms and signs. And mainly they come with somatic complaints, like they will give history of physical aches and pains instead of saying I have low mood or loss of energy or something like that.
When it comes to treating the disease, Dr. Ugen says in most cases treatment cannot be done adequately.
Even if we diagnose them, we cannot give them the dose that we want actually. For example, antidepressants, we cannot treat them adequately. It's again an aging process that they have compromised liver, renal and cardiac functions. So we cannot give them adequate dose. We have to start with very minimal dose and then titrate it very slowly.
Dr. Ugen added that age is not a risk factor to get depressed. But factors associated with aging, such as financial status, social isolation, loss of partner, and even certain medications are the ones contributing to depression in elders. Yishagalton, BBS News.
Next time, make sure you complete taking all the antibiotics prescribed by the doctors to fight the infections. The World Health Organization reports that many antibiotics have become ineffective, which means infections are becoming harder to treat. Doctors say it is because of misuse of antibiotics. Antibiotics are medicines used to prevent and treat bacterial infections.
It is not a huge concern in Bhutan as it is elsewhere in the world. In the US, infections like gonorrhea have become resistant to antibiotics that could earlier treat the infection. But it does not imply we are safe. The National Referral Hospital has been recording such incidences.
If you don't take the antibiotic in full course, then 50% of the bacteria are dead and 50% are still alive. No? So this bacteria develops a mechanism where they will be able to resist this antibiotic. No? In other countries, I think it has been observed that they do doctor shopping. Patient go for doctor shopping. That means today they go to one doctor, they are prescribed some antibiotics, and suddenly they go to another doctor, and that other doctor without the knowledge of the previous prescription, prescribed another antibiotic.
Health professionals are also partially to be blamed.
Many times I think our health professionals who prescribes, treats patients, they prescribe antibiotic to patients when it's not really required. So we call it irrational prescribing.
Considering the growing threat, Bhutan proposed the implementation of National Action Plan for Antimicrobial Resistance, and it was approved by the government this year. The plan will be implemented in the next 5-year plan. The National Action Plan will strengthen laboratory capacity to detect and examine infections.
If some patient comes with infection, let's take an example of wound infection. There's a pus in the wound. So in the laboratory, we can test that pus and see what bacteria is growing in that pus and which antibiotic will act on the bacteria, so that the doctors and the prescribers can give the appropriate antibiotics.
Under the action plan, there will be laboratory facilities in 6 more districts. The facility is currently available only in the regional referral hospitals. Health professionals and public will also be advocated on the use of antibiotics. Pupgam for BBS News.
Starting this month, the Health Ministry initiated the implementation of web-based mother and child tracking system in the country. Mother and child tracking system is a tool to ensure delivery of full healthcare services to pregnant women and children up to 5 years of age. The tracking system will be helpful to reduce mother and child deaths in the country.
This yellow mother and child health book is what pregnant women and mothers currently use to keep track of their health and child's health. But with the new web-based system, the tracking system is going to strengthen the reporting status of the health facility.
Our healthcare providers in some situations are not able to track till spanning delivery till a child attains 5 years of age. As per the national health policy, we are aspiring for minimum of 8 ANC visits, and we are aspiring for 100% institutional delivery. But as per National Health Survey 2012, we had 74% of institutional delivery in the country, which means we still have a lot of gap to be addressed.
Under the web-based system, the information for every mother and child can be updated by the respective health centers, and the information can be assessed at all levels. Challenges such as failing to monitor and follow up pregnant women in providing antenatal care and duplication of service coverage will all be addressed. The web-based system is yet to be implemented in all the hospitals till all the health assistants are trained. Meanwhile, the hospitals continue to use the book. The ministry so far trained 120 health assistants from across the country. Another batch will be trained next month. Sunampem for BBS News.
People of 5 Songkhaks can look forward to improving and increasing their agricultural productivity in the next 5 years as part of the Food Security and Productivity Project. The Agriculture Ministry will implement the project from end of November this year.
Worth $9.5 million, the project will focus on 5 major commodities of rice, maize, vegetables, cardamom and citrus production in Chukha, Tagana, Ha, Samtsi and Sarbang. Under the project, 4 major irrigation channels will also be constructed. The 5 Songkhaks were identified based on the prevalence of poverty and malnutrition and also considering the potential for commercialization of crops.
Those 24 gyoks are an issue. We really do not have that level of hunger as we can observe in some parts of the world, but it is still an issue in the remote parts because of the remoteness, inaccessibility to quality food, all those issues.
Alongside improving agricultural productivity, the project will help reduce Bhutan's food imports. It will also combat malnutrition in children by providing homegrown school feeding programs for 3,000 students in 16 gyoks. Women's role in development will also be strengthened as 30% of the project beneficiaries are women.
The project focuses on the impact of women. This project will ensure equal participation in the project activities, representation in the farmers group, and proactive involvement in decision making by the women.
The Agriculture Ministry developed the Food Security and Productivity Project in partnership with the World Bank and the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. This is Sonam Choden, BBS News.
The High Court conducted the show cause hearing on the writ of mandamus petition filed by Druk Nyamruk Sokpa against the government for alleged unconstitutional implementation of tax alteration. Writ of mandamus is an order issued by the court ordering the government to fulfill their duties or correct abuse of discretion. The show cause hearing that lasted for about half an hour was conducted by 7 judges in the larger bench of the court. The judges granted permission to both the parties to verbally submit their clarification. Reaffirming their stand, the Druk Nyamrup Sokpa submitted to the court that the petition was filed as per the constitution. DNT said developmental activities should benefit all sections of the society equally. But the fiscal incentive, DNT says, has benefited only few. If not checked from the beginning, DNT said the successive governments will continue to breach the constitution. The Office of the Attorney General, who is representing the government, said the case has no legal standing. The Attorney General submitted to the court that the issue on fiscal incentive is already in the Supreme Court and the case therefore is sub judice. He also said the DNT has no authority to file the case. The Office of the Attorney General will submit its response on 25th of next month. The judges who presided over the hearing today will then discuss the merit of the petition. Only then the court will choose to accept or reject the petition. For Changa Doji, this is Sharaf Doji, PBS News. A Korean volunteer program office will be opened in the country later this year. This is to mark the 30th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between Bhutan and Korea.
The project, according to the Korean ambassador to Bhutan, is in its final stages. By the end of this year, the Korean government would be able to send voluntary assistance in the areas of constructions, electronics and agriculture.
As time passes, I wish that one day the full-fledged Quake office will open. This is the very important presence. Without the presence, physical presence, we have some difficulties to cooperate. But with the opening of Koika voluntary office here, then we will deepen our cooperation.
Today, Korea continues to play an important role in Bhutan's socio-economic development pursuits, particularly in the field of human resource development. Officiating Prime Minister Lempodoji Chodin said the Republic of Korea is one of Bhutan's valued development partners with whom there is tremendous potential to expand bilateral cooperation. Also, to commemorate the 30th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries, the Foreign Ministry and Bhutan Post released a joint stamp album yesterday. Diplomatic relations between Bhutan and Korea was established on 24th September 1987. Pema Saldin, PBS News.
Things have become quite chaotic among the horse riding service providers at Ramthangka, the base of Taksang in Paro. After the Horse Riding Association dissolved, horse owners are now seen rushing for guests, much to the annoyance of the visitors.
Horse owners picking up petty quarrels for their rider guests have become an everyday scene at the Taksang base. One may consider it as a concept of survival of the fittest, but oftentimes things get out of hand.
A few were taken to the prison as well for such a behavior, while some got their foot run over by vehicles. But that's how it works. If you don't rush, we don't get guests.
We are almost like the taxi drivers at Luntin Zampa rushing for passengers. A person who is talkative and smart takes the guest. This actually leads to a quarrel.
Following the Jongkak Chokdu's endorsement, the Horse Riding Association was formed in 2015. However, it failed after 6 months of operation as 2 horse owners providing the horse riding service at Ramthangka refused to join the group.
We don't get guests every day. We often return home without any business. On the other hand, the two owners who did not register with the association got plenty of guests. They even brought horses from other places. Since the Dzongkhag administration did not support us, we approached relevant ministries and ministers as well, but to no avail. So without much income, we decided to work on our own.
It would be better if everybody joins the group, but I know that's not going to happen because when we are working in a group, it affects our income. And when people don't join, problems arise.
The two horse owners got trade licenses to operate horse riding service. We even received a notice from the Trade Ministry to allow them to walk separately. However, when it comes to Taksang, many visitors, including tourists and senior officials, come here. So it would be best if all the horse owners have the same rules to follow.
He added, improving the horse business arrangement at Ramthangka calls for a joint effort of the Dzongkhag administration, Tourism Council of Bhutan, Association of Bhutanese Tour Operators, Home and Economic Affairs Ministries. Meanwhile, the local leaders of Paro have formed a working committee to revive the horse riding association.
If we don't form a committee and make strong guidelines, it doesn't look good in front of the tourists. Moreover, there is no harmony among the horse owners. They fight and quarrel to get guests first and make more money.
For now, as much as the forming of a horse riding association is urgent, so is the need for other temporary but immediate measures to manage the business at Ramthangka. After all, with the onset of tourist arrival season, hundreds more visitors will hike to Taksang every day, and Bhutan has so much at stake at its foothill. For Sangi Chunzum in Paro, Passa, BBS News.
For the first time, the Bhutan Board for Certified Counselor has certified 140 Bhutanese counseling professionals as National Certified Counselor. The certificates were awarded during the 4th Biennial Bhutan Counseling Conference.
Her Royal Highness Princess Gezang Chodron Wangchuk graced the inaugural ceremony of the conference and awarded certificates. The counsellors have been trained in various capacities before being certified as professionals.
This certification would mean that we have a lot of responsibilities to shoulder back in the school as a school guidance counselor. This will also ensure that counselors will have their position and place to provide a better service to the youths and students in the school.
Previously, we never had such rules and regulations like without certificates. If anybody wants to practice or has a desire to work in the fields of addiction, we were allowed. But today, the BBCC Bhutan Board of Certified Counselors have come up with such a beautiful regulation that without these certificates, you are not supposed to practice counseling, or you're not supposed to work, without these certificates. In another way, it's like a license.
The certificate will now help them recognize as professional counselors.
Many of us thought that after you have a short training, they thought that they are professional counselors and they could just go and do whatever they wanted to do. There was no regulation, there was no standards, there was no ethical code of conduct, So every individual was doing what they felt like, and that was the past. But now, with this certification, they become professionals. They will have to abide by certain regulations, ethical standards.
Her Royal Highness also launched the certification guidelines for the National Certified Counselor and website for the Bhutan Board for Certified Counselor. Chonidama for BBS News.
Construction of modern toilet is gaining momentum in Tansibji in Tonsa. The credit to youth in the community who found a reason in taking up the job.
27-year-old Sharab Tobge, along with his friends, constructed 6 toilets in Tansibji so far. The skills he acquired after undergoing training on building such an amenity.
The training really helped us. I don't mind constructing toilets. I want to be an example to the youths in the village.
Sharab says the business is not profitable in terms of monetary returns, but when it comes to setting a trend, there is no match to it. Perhaps for this reason, many villagers have already assigned him to construct a modern toilet for them.
In the past, everyone had a pit toilet, mostly made of wood and bamboo. Today, while some people are constructing toilets inside their houses, others have the facility outside, closer to a water tap.
The initiative has also helped the villagers in maintaining better hygiene and attracts tenants from Nikachu hydropower project. Tansibji village has over 100 households. For Sujaman Thapa in Tonsa, Pasa, BBS News.
Residents of Pelrithang Khate and Khame villages of Gilfu Geok in Serbang are losing chunks of their paddy field to Daula stream every year. This year alone, farmers of the 2 villages lost about 20 acres of their paddy fields to the Solon Daula stream.
The stream bed used to be much lower than the paddy fields several years ago. The shallow stream bed is now filled with sand and boulders due to years of flooding and has reached the paddy field level. As a result, the stream changes its course in the summer and causes damage or washes away paddy fields. Farmers said if no mitigation measures are taken anytime soon, they will be left without any paddy fields in few years.
Now we are really worried. The stream bed is much lower than our field and it used to be just a small stream. But in recent years, the stream started getting bigger when it rains. And the Solon stream has damaged and washed away my land. We have approached the Geok administration to help us as we came here after getting this Kidu land.
This part of my land is all filled with sand and boulder and there is no way I can use it for cultivation. So we grow crops in the remaining land. The government has constructed an embankment protection wall, but it has been damaged and the water started overflowing.
Gelifu Gub said that the issue has been reported to the Zonkab. He said they could not initiate any mitigation work due to lack of funds.
The stream swells right now as we receive abundant rainfall. But during the winter, we even face shortage of drinking water. We have informed the ministry through the Zonkak, and the experts from the ministry visited the site. They told us that the protection works has to be initiated from the source itself. That's what we wanted. So this year, we are planning to plant bamboo at the source with the little money that we have.
The rain-fed stream floods the area every monsoon but dries up during the winter. Fukarmawangdi in Gelifu, Sonampem for BBS News.
Instances of roadblocks are quite frequent for the people of Doraka in Samtse. But getting stranded has not been so. Up until recently, the Department of Roads has been able to keep the Doraka-Samtse road open to traffic.
A backhoe and other necessary equipment are deployed along the GC route in case a roadblock occurs.
Now, we need not wait for weeks for the blocks to get cleared. The Department of Roads clears them as soon as they are informed about such incidents. So far, we have not faced any problem due to roadblocks.
Every time it rains, there is a roadblock, but thankfully the Department of Roads clears it. Until now, we did not encounter any problem due to roadblocks, and our construction works are also on track.
There have been several roadblocks, but none of the people here got into problem until so far, thanks to the effort put in by the Department of Roads and the Dunkirk administration. At the maximum, we have to wait for 2 hours in case there are major blocks.
We have all the necessary equipment ready at this site because it's summer and we don't know when there will be a roadblock. People have also started taking initiatives and call us whenever there are blocks. As soon as we receive information, we rush to the site and clear the block.
In the past, commuters were often stranded for weeks due to blocks along the Doroka-Samtsi highway. For some locals, then, it was time to make money as porters. The 54-kilometer Gyeok Center route connects 3 gyeoks of Doroka-Dunkak to the rest of the Jongkok.
And that's all we have for you this week. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is Sharab Dorji saying goodbye.